Lobster, gigantic cockroach. Gross.
All right.
All right, here's what else I have to say about this. Welcome to When Harry Dumped Sally.
Yeah.
Woo, we did it.
What's our movie today?
Our movie today is How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. This is a podcast where we watch a romantic movie of sorts, sometimes a rom-com, this time a rom-com.
Yeah.
And
A rom-com for sure.
Uh-huh.
You can't argue that this one's not.
No, this is definitely a rom-com.
Yeah.
And we're going to, discuss the relationship and how long are they really soulmates?
Yeah. What we think happens after the credits roll.
Yes. What do we think happens?
Yeah.
How long they stay together?
Yes.
Let's do log line, talk about this movie. It's from 2003.
2003. All right. Here is the log line for How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay. I just want you to know I don't like this log line.
No, they don't even mention her in it.
Isn't that crazy?
He's not the main character.
No, he is not. But
I know.
The log line is Benjamin Barry is an advertising executive and ladies' man who, to win a big campaign, bets that he can make a woman fall in love with him in 10 days.
Yeah, I got a lot of opinions about this. We got Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey as Benjamin Barry, and she's Andie Anderson. Gotta have that AABB.
Yep, very cute.
Very cute. Let's should we just dive into it? We'll just do it and then I'll discuss my journey. We also watched this yesterday. This is our first one not watching it immediately before recording.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna be great. I've had time to change my opinion on this many times.
Do we know how old they are?
I don't know that it's clear.
Yeah, 3 years.
You think 3?
Yeah.
Damn, I was saying 4 months.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did start long at first.
Yeah.
But then I decided they did not fall in love with each other. They fell in love with fake versions of each other. They were not being genuine, and they were genuine for maybe 48 hours of the 10 days that they spent together.
He fell in love with the genuine her.
He fell in love.
He fell in love.
He's a monster, first of all. Fuck this man.
Yep.
Everything about this guy sucks.
Yeah.
I wanted to also say, fuck men who are named Ben.
Yeah, I agree.
In general.
I agree.
I have a terrible Ben.
I have a bad Ben.
I
the
know
cat one.
other people who have terrible Bens.
Yeah.
So I don't know. If you're a good Ben, chime in, because doubt it.
Yeah. You're probably a liar.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Prove it.
Prove it. Prove you're such a good guy.
Yeah, because it's unlikely.
Yeah, I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a second.
So honestly, fuck this guy immediately with his name, and then just his entire personality bad. Everything about him sucks. He's like so egotistical, and for what reason?
Yeah.
Like what? You work in advertising? Like, okay.
Selling beer and kegs.
Cool.
Neat.
Wow, what a sick man.
Yeah. Okay, here's the thing though. Their whole thing is like they both love sports. They both haven't been in love with anyone. They're both good looking. I don't know. I think that can last them both a while.
I don't disagree with you, and that is why I had them longer.
Yeah.
And then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I don't think that either of them actually want a relationship.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he definitely didn't, and I don't think she does.
Right. And I feel like because of his entire thing, like, yeah, also, I'll get into this, but Andie is so just like cool girl. I'm a cool girl. I'm a guy's girl.
Yes.
And I realized it was 2003. That was what we were doing at that time.
That's what you wanted to be.
But I just was like, oh, I wrote it so many times in my notes.
Yep.
So I get that that's her thing, but even a cool girl has issues and has feelings.
She's
and
a person.
She's going to have moments when she's not a cool girl.
Yeah.
And I don't know that they're going to last past their first like big issue together.
Yeah, because he put up with like really, really wacky business. But it's because it was for a bet. I know.
So I'm just not sure. And also, they've already lied to each other on a major level, which I think is like a massive ruining of trust. And that's not to say that you can't come back from that, but it will require like a lot of work.
Okay, maybe 6 months.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll keep discussing. We'll keep discussing it. We're going to go through what happens. Right off the bat, while the credits are going, Andie falls down while she's like putting something together. And I felt like I would immediately, my first note was like, oh, gotta have the lady falling down to show that she's not like other girls and is very quirky.
She falls, which is so unusual.
Falls. It's crazy. She was trying to like do her own home repair and then she fell.
She too succumbs to gravity.
Yes.
Strange.
It's he's not gonna like that when he finds out.
He hates gravity.
He does.
He hates it.
Fucking loser.
Yeah, our beginning is kind of they're showing a bunch of her magazine articles or magazine articles in general. She works at a magazine.
Girl. This is also a classic. I'm surprised that this isn't a book. This feels like every like romantic book where I feel like it's such
I'm a writer.
thing.
I'm a journalist.
Yes, they're always writers.
That's what I wrote. This is our second journalist.
Yes.
Our first one was Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Writers love to write writers, but I feel like especially female writers are like, she's relatable to me.
She's relatable. She has thoughts. She writes them.
She's
smart. Not doing math. No. She's not doing math.
Well, she's a woman.
She's a woman. So she's writing. Yeah. She's not building. She can't build.
Well, and all she's writing is how-to articles.
How to be a lady like me.
But also the other thing, she's like, oh, but I really want to write about religion and politics. I don't even know. Then why are you working at that magazine? You know what that magazine is.
Yeah, she does. And she thinks that it can be different, which is so funny.
Right. I'm like, you don't run this magazine. You know you can't change it.
No.
Be realistic.
Yes. Yeah, when we see her at her magazine, which is called Composure.
Yes.
She's writing some like thing about politics in some far off country. Mm-hmm. But really she's supposed to be doing her how-to guides or whatever.
Yes. I also have a note. Our first shot of Ben, he's at work and he's just taking off his shirt for some reason in front of everyone. Why are we doing that? Just taking off our clothes in the workplace? And it wasn't to like try on something important. I don't understand why his clothes were off.
He wanted to change into his business suit, his business shirt. He was wearing casual shirt and had to change there into his business shirt. Don't know why he couldn't have started in his business shirt. He was walking into his business.
Couldn't possibly just like go to the bathroom and be like, oh, this is a place of work. I shouldn't be casually taking my shirt off. But it's just to be like, oh, he's Matthew hot. McConaughey is hot.
Look at his body.
Look at that. Wow. And if you're into that, I guess you are a straight woman and good for you.
Yes. We see, the shot of her at work. We see the shot of him at work. Mm-hmm. We see a shot of her like helping her friend who's gone through a breakup.
Her friend who said that who falls in love way too quickly.
Yes.
It's very women be crazy.
Yes. Her apartment is a floral nightmare.
I wrote a note
curtains,
about
floral outfits.
Catherine Hahn's pajamas.
Uh-huh. They match her walls and the curtains and the sheets.
She also has a very pretty cat who pops up later. Yeah. And I have some notes about the cat.
Good. But yeah, it's clear like she's like a crazy lady who likes flowers.
Yes. And she's like such a typical girl, which Andie is not.
She is not a typical girl. She likes the NBA.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Basketball. Mm-hmm. You ever heard of it, ladies?
Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, she also tells her friends that Catherine Hahn, Michelle, she says that she told the dude she was seeing that she loved him the first time they had sex.
Mm-hmm. I love a woman who does that. That's so fun. That's so funny to me.
Is this something that you do?
No, but it's so, I respect the hell out of it. Good for you. Also, she cried during sex, and I'm like, let women cry during sex.
Yeah.
You have no idea what ladies have been through. Let them cry during sex. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's fair, I guess. Yeah.
I cried during sex recently.
That checks it. That seems right.
It's a crazy thing happened to your body. It's anyway.
Yeah.
Let women cry during sex, okay? It doesn't make them crazy.
We support women doing whatever they want to do.
Yes.
Including crying
Yes.
during sex.
Yes.
I feel like I've never cried during sex and felt good about it, but...
Well, I don't feel good about it. I'm not like, I'm crying during sex.
Sounds like you're pretty fucking proud.
I'm not live streaming myself crying during sex. Go, look at this guy. I'm crying. But I just think it should be normalized. I think sometimes your body has reactions that your emotions aren't having, you know? Like,
I feel like she was crying, though, because she was like, oh, my God, I'm in love.
yeah, that's just disgusting.
I think I just, like, don't relate to that.
No.
I have had someone tell me they loved me the first time we had sex, though.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Who was it?
The person I'm dating.
That you've been with 7 years now.
So it works.
I love that. Actually, I had a lot of notes about you with this film.
About me?
Yeah. I think someone said, I don't know if it was Michelle saying it to Kate Hudson, but someone said something effective like, they love you if you barfed all over him. And I was like, Tess on the dick.
I have puked on someone's dick. I have.
And I'm in trouble for crying during sex, okay?
Hey, listen, I didn't bring it up. You brought it up. Well, you know, sometimes you be drunk and sucking dick and then you puke.
You're Kate Hudson, though. I think she's like, you'd barf on him and he'd go do it again. And I'm like, that's Tess.
Here's the thing. I do, in some ways, relate to this woman who I feel bad for.
I relate to both women in ways that I am ashamed of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that I also went through like a very aggressive cool girl phase that I'm not proud of.
Nope.
And like very manic pixie dream girl kind of vibes. So I relate to that. I think that I am like pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
you are.
I don't think I'm a cool girl anymore because I feel like being a cool girl, you're not being true to yourself.
No, it's just so awful.
You're living your life to impress men and you're like suppressing things that maybe actually make you happy.
Yeah. And like enjoyable.
Yes.
You know? It seems like so exhausting to contort yourself to like someone else's dream, which you don't know even if it is, you know? Some people like messy stuff. Some people like it when people puke on their dick and cry during sex.
Some people do. He didn't leave me, so you know, I left him.
Got him.
Got him. That's right.
I love a woman who pukes on a dick and leaves. That's good. That's like a bad Yelp review if you puke on the dick and then you're like, never go into this establishment again.
Never mind. You know, it happens. Another note, I've all puked on a dick. We've all cried during sex. We've all puked on a dick. My next note is 2003. The body shame is real.
Yes.
We got Michelle in the elevator being like, oh, he dumped me because I'm fat.
Yeah.
She's not fat at all. And even if she was, who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
He's not going to dump her for that reason.
No.
There's also a point where she says to her boss, like, oh, I'm so depressed I haven't eaten, and her boss's response is, good for you.
Good for you. Write about it.
Yeah, you should write about it. The opposite thing, though, that I will say, I feel like the whole, I don't know, being too skinny, body shaming culture of the 90s, of forever, honestly. But I feel like it was very rampant during this time. I do think it's coming back. But another thing that we have right now that I picked up on in this movie is right now I feel like there's a big anti-aging kick. And I did feel like it was nice watching this movie. I was like, there's not Botox galore. Everybody's foreheads move.
They're making real expressions.
Nice.
I love that. Bring back all of 2003 for sure.
Yeah, if we're gonna listen, let's not shame on two things.
No,
pick one.
Pick one.
Shame us for being old. Shame us for our bodies.
Yes.
Not both.
Not both. Both is unfair.
Neither would be even better.
No, that's a crazy ask. That's an insane ask. And kind of the whole thing between her and her friend Michelle's like, you wouldn't get it. Like, you could do anything to a guy and they'll want you back. Like, Andie's a hot, cool girl.
Yes.
It's kind of the messaging we're getting between her friends and her too.
Very cool.
And Andie's implication is it's just because she doesn't do any crazy girly stuff. You know?
She's very cool. So anyway, that happens. And then she has to write the How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days article because her boss won't let her write about politics because of how that's not what this fucking
not what the magazine is.
Andie.
It's crazy. But I don't like the way she ends up writing this article. She ends up like, so the boss says to poor Michelle, who just got broken up with, like, write about it. And she's like, I don't want to use my personal life. And she's like, okay, I'll hire someone else to do your personal life story. And then Andie's like, I'm going to write an article saying everything wrong my friend did.
Yeah.
It just feels so cruel.
Well, she's like, it's going to be so nice if I do it instead of somebody else. And her friend's like, oh my God,
thank you so much for telling the world all the dipshit stuff I did.
I'm fucking crazy.
Yep.
Also, her boss made them all take their shoes off in this meeting, and I don't understand why everyone is removing clothes in the workplace.
It is weird.
So the project that Andie is given is that she has to find a guy, start to date him, and drive him away in 10 days.
Yes.
And that does sound very fun.
Oh, what a good time.
Yeah.
What a good time.
What a great time to ruin a man's life, especially a man like Ben.
Yeah, he needs it.
And then we get to Ben, who, I don't know, wants to get some diamond contract at his ad company because sports and beer is like...
It's not luxury. It's not lucrative.
Yeah, he'd make more money, and he's trying to take this job away from these two women who I think we're supposed to believe are the bad guys, but who
They're
liked.
cool women. Love them.
Yeah.
Hot.
Yeah.
Love these ladies.
Very great.
But Matthew McConaughey says, I love women. I respect women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
Uh-huh.
There's also a point, his boss, their boss, where the women are like the two Judys. Both of their names are Judy.
I didn't catch that. That's hilarious.
I looked up the characters.
Wow. Women in STEM.
Yep, I know how to use Wikipedia. The two Judys say that in order to sell jewelry, you need to understand women. And his boss responds, you can't feel bad about that, Ben. No man does. No man does.
No man can ever understand a woman because there's something wrong with how their brains work, and it's different.
Crazy.
Yes, they are different. Ben also refers to the two Judys as lips and hips earlier.
Oh, fuck off, Ben.
Yeah, very gross, very gross. But he loves women and respects women, whatever. So all three of them, Ben, Boss, two Judys, are in like a meeting at a party. Mm-hmm. And
Andie pops over with her friends to meet a man because this is the watering hole for the professionals looking to fuck.
Exactly.
And the two Judys recognize her because they were at the magazine for some reason.
And they know about the article that she's writing.
Yes. And they decide to pair them up because it will be impossible for him to make a woman fall in love with him because that's the bet days.
They and the big boss make for him. He can have the diamond account if he can make a woman fall in love with him in 10 days,
which is so reasonable. That's
very
such a great way
normal.
to give somebody I don't know, a project.
That's how big business works, you know?
Yeah.
I wrote, wow, who would play crazy dating games for content that's so messed up? As a joke to myself, because I've done 30 dates in 30 days twice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm sick in the brain.
You would be perfect for Ben. You and Ben and Andie, perfect little throuple.
Wow.
You're just not allowed to cry during sex, though.
I will. And I'll puke, too.
Good.
And we don't know what order it'll be in. Okay, so the two Judys are like, that girl, that's the one you have to make fall in love.
Yes.
It's Kate Hudson or Andie.
Yeah.
So Andie and Ben talk and have a conversation. Each one just uses one word, which is so cool.
Yeah, they have this really cool conversation that's not real. And he's like, oh, are you hungry?
Starving.
Leaving now. And then they leave. She gets on the back of this strange man's motorcycle, which I have done.
Yeah.
But I also was like, girl, don't get on the back of that strange man's motorcycle.
He said 8 words or less. It's crazy.
Yeah. And then, okay, this happens later. All right. We're just gonna get into this. He takes her to go to this like crab or lobster fucking place. Disgusting. What a gross thing to do. You're just cracking open things, slurping shit off your fingers. Disgusting. Everyone's covered in butter. You have plastic bibs on. I'm like, you saw each other across the room, had an 8-word conversation. And you're like, wow, I want to see you eat one of the grossest foods to eat on the planet in front of me.
I really miss eating crab. I developed a crab allergy 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I really miss crab.
Yeah, you love eating cockroaches.
Hey.
Yeah.
What?
Crabs are sea cockroaches. A crustacean, it's the same makeup as a cockroach. So if you would eat a fucking crab, you would eat a cockroach. Same goo on the inside.
No
if
way.
you fried that thing up and you put butter on it, you would eat it. Shrimp, sea cockroaches.
Cockroaches can't taste as good as crab.
Yeah, they would.
No, they do not. I'm looking it up right now.
Shrimp is a sea cockroach. I stand by it. It's disgusting.
Taste. This is just so crazy. Like, crab.
They probably the reason that people like crab is because of the butter.
No, cockroaches do not taste like crab. While some people might describe the taste of a cockroach as somewhat fishy or fatty, it's generally considered quite different from the taste of crab.
Quite different. This sounds like somebody who's a crab sympathizer.
Which is typically sweet and briny with a more delicate texture. Yeah, see, it's not like seafood.
They said that people do describe it as
similar.
Similar. Yeah, it's because people are in their heads about it.
Most people who have tried cockroaches said they don't taste like seafood, and the flavor is often described as more earthy or slightly nutty, depending on what they've been eating.
Well, that makes sense because they're in the ground, but I'm just saying if they were in the sea, the texture is the same. It is the same makeup, and crabs are scuttling around in the fucking ocean, and all the fish see them and they say, ew, that's a cockroach. They say, ew, stay away from that. That's gross. And they all think that about shrimp as well. They are in lobster, gigantic cockroach. Gross.
All right.
All right. Here's what else I have to say about this. I have a lot to say about this fucking gross ass meal that they had together.
I think it's so fun.
No.
I think it's so fun to get messy. I don't know why he's doing it though. I can't tell if it's like a test to test her, but like, why is he testing her?
You're literally, from his perspective, he's like, I'm trying to make this woman fall in love with me. I'm going to go have her. And it doesn't even look like a nice crab restaurant. It's just like crab with like a plastic bed. I'm like, are we at Long John Silver's? Where are we? What is this?
I think there's something about like, there's an activity involved. An activity while eating's kind of fun, like shucking oysters, you know?
No.
Oysters taste great too. Don't fucking tell me
that
oysters taste like cockroaches.
It's boogers.
This is ridiculous.
It's shells full of boogers.
Wow. Just have an unrefined
Salty
palate test. I'm
boogers.
sorry. Oysters are great.
All right. So here's what else I have to say about this. I have a lot to say about this.
One of the things I have to say, his lips are too shiny for some of these scenes.
His lips are shiny because they're covered in fucking butter. It's covered in butter. His fingers were fucking dripping in butter.
They're ready.
It's disgusting.
His fingers are ready.
whatever. You know what? Eat your cockroaches, eat your weird ass food.
Oh,
but
so
like,
hurtful. I didn't know that this is the fight we'd be having today. I had
of
no
course
idea
it would be.
when I woke up.
I knew the second I wrote this down, I was like, Natasha's going to disagree with me.
We were sitting and watching the lobster crab scene, and you were typing so much all of a sudden. I'm like, I wonder what the hell our problem is with this scene.
I have a lot of thoughts. Jumping ahead, we will get back to this, but at some point in this fucking movie, once she's turned into a crazy girl and she's trying to drive him away, he makes her lamb and she goes, if only I ate meat. Bitch, you just ate a fucking cockroach of the ocean. You eat meat. He's seen you eat it. You don't get to be like, oh, I don't eat meat. This is so 2003. Everyone's like, oh, you don't eat meat? Here's a fucking lobster? No.
And my argument is,
that's
like
meat. What are you talking
there
about?
There are a lot of people who call themselves vegetarians, but they eat fish. They should
liars.
use pescatarians, but a lot of people, I bet back then, were not using the term pescatarian.
Because it was 2003, and I accept that. But if you are currently calling yourself a vegetarian and you eat fish, you're a fucking liar, and you need to call yourself what you are, which is a pescatarian.
I agree.
You need to, because
absolutely,
it's very upsetting when you tell, this doesn't happen as often anymore, but there have been times when I've been like, I'm vegetarian, and somebody's been like, oh, I got you like a tuna sandwich. And I'm like, well, now I can't fucking eat that either.
Yeah, people are dumb.
They are. And including Ben, who didn't clock that. She wasn't like, oh, I don't eat meat. And he wasn't like, bitch, I saw you slurping down some lobster the other day.
Yeah.
So actually, and lobster is a violent, you are not an animal rights activist if you want to murder something in boiling water. You want it to boil alive and then take a thing and snap its bones. What, you think that she loves animals?
I think he was dumb for not asking questions.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We are aligned here.
All right, going back to the disgusting meal, we can move on from it now.
Well, there's the big line. Mm-hmm. She asked him true or false. All is fair in love and war. And he says true, because they both know that they are tricking each other.
Yes.
You know, how to lose a guy in 10 days walked so Mr. and Mrs. Smith could run.
Yes.
Deception, trickery. Lies.
It's the first movie that ever did it.
We've never seen deception before until this film.
No film had ever deceived.
Nope. Okay, so then they go back to his place after being covered in butter and cockroach, right?
Yeah, he's covered in cockroaches. He's just slurped down a bunch of goo. Yeah. And then he puts on Hot in Here.
And lights a bunch of candles.
And he's like, oh shit, Hot in Here isn't romantic music. That's my fuck music. He also has a cold beer neon sign.
Yep. He's a cool bachelor.
And then they try to do the game where they're like pretending like, oh, we're taking it too fast and I need you to respect me. And I'm just like, you don't go back to someone's place not to fuck after slurping down your goo.
See, I disagree with you here too.
You would go back to a person's place and not fuck them?
Yeah.
Brave.
I've done it a lot. I just usually am really verbal about it.
Is it because you're crying?
Yeah. I'm like, just so you know, if you take me back to your place and you try to have sex with me, I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I did very recently tell a guy, like, he wanted to kiss me. And I'm like, just so you know, if you try to kiss me, I will cry. I was fresh off the breakup. But I think that going to someone's place doesn't have to have the implications. Everyone loves to say it has the implications. Mm-hmm. What I will say, it's crazy that they didn't have sex.
Yeah.
For most of their 10 days together when they are supposed to like fall in love and lose each other.
Well, and I feel like with her trying to get rid of him thing, I feel like the fastest way to get rid of a dude is to fuck him. If you're assuming that's just what he's there for.
Yes.
And I don't think that in reality is actually the case, but I feel like within the logic of this movie,
universe,
you would just fuck him and then he'd be like, oh, I got what I want.
Right, but he wouldn't let it happen because he's like, we gotta get her in love with me, which means she can never see my dick.
Yes, Princess Sophia. I said once again that I would love to do this, especially with this cocky piece of shit. I hate this man.
He's terrible.
Yeah.
He's terrible.
Yeah. Then, okay.
A woman's purse is her secret source of power.
Now we are back. Now we're at the next day, and she has left her purse there, which is crazy. I've never thought to do this. I would be like, oh, he's going to take my phone and sell it.
A whole purse? Well, it doesn't seem like she has phone, but yes.
Yes, I guess this is 2003.
It's not phone town time.
But like, she had money. She had credit cards.
She had tickets to a basketball game.
Yes, but she wanted him to see that.
I know.
Which is also insane because I wouldn't trust him to not
swipe the tickets?
Steal the tickets.
Yeah.
Like, that's a crazy thing to trust that he would just whatever. So that happens, and he gets the purse, and him and his coworkers are staring at it. There's a quote, "We the male species should know nothing about this."
Yep.
I remember this being a thing in high school. Like, guys would be like, I would never carry a girl's purse for her because that means that you're like
whipped.
A beta. Yeah, you're whipped.
Yep.
I feel like being whipped was the thing when we were in high school. You did not want to be whipped.
No.
And carrying a girl's purse was whipped.
And nowadays
people
are paying to get whipped, you know?
How things change.
Oh, how things change. So then he calls her a very clever minx, which I don't like. I think that's weird.
Yes. He calls her that. He sends her fucking
so many
100 roses.
Yes.
This is where I was like, he's trying to make her fall in love. That would drive me away.
It's
I would
insane.
Be like, this man's crazy.
One night sending you 100 roses to work is so weird.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then on the phone, he calls her young lady.
Icky.
Don't like that.
Icky. I'd be so pissed if someone looked through my bag, 1, 2, had me on speaker with his coworkers.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I do not like that.
Yeah, so that's crazy. They go see the Knicks, I guess.
They go to the basketball game. They get on a kiss cam. Oh, they kiss. Crazy.
She's being like, cool girl. And then she starts demanding that he gets her snacks, which I did love.
I'm so thirsty. I need it now.
Yeah.
The last minute of the game, I need it now. So he goes and gets the thing. And then she goes, it's not diet. It's a good time.
Yeah, I love every time she's mean to him. Then their next date, they go on a date to a movie theater where they see Sleepless in Seattle. Our very first episode. Yep. So, wow, look at that.
And I love that the worst thing that she could do in this movie is ask a man, what are you thinking about? What's on your mind?
Okay.
Are you kidding? Okay,
I agree. But also, it is during a movie.
For sure, it's during a movie. Yes.
I understand what you are saying.
There are a lot of...
Yeah.
It's just so awful that women want to know what their partner is thinking about.
Right.
But I agree, it's during a movie, and that makes it worse.
That's the part that is really bad. And then there's a man who gets so mad that she's talking during this movie that he takes Ben outside and punches him.
But before that, she says, who's the girl you're thinking about? Who's Meg Ryan making you think of? Which I love. I love that she's getting jealous of a no one or acting jealous because of that. But yeah, he gets beat up, which is great. You know how much I love when the men get hurt a little bit.
They got to get hurt a little bit, especially when they suck.
Yep.
I wrote once again, I hate Ben.
Yes. She does refer to him as her boyfriend there in the theater.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then we go back to her office and she has another
He rubbed his face on her boob. We're not going to talk about him rubbing his face on her boob. That. She gets knocked whatever unconscious or whatever, half awake, and she's holding him, and then he just starts rubbing his face on her boob. I didn't like it.
No.
I didn't like it.
I didn't like it either.
Yep. That's it. I just want to say I didn't like it.
Too early on.
Yep.
To be doing weird shit like that. Okay. Then we're back at her office. She has another cool girl line where she's eating a burger and she says, why do they always forget my bacon? I'm like, cool girl.
She loves bacon.
Oh my God, she loves meat.
She's so cool.
She eats
She wants
burgers.
2 kinds of meat in that burger. Yeah. Not just the one.
No, she eats burgers. She likes basketball.
Yep.
She probably drinks beer.
Yeah, she does.
Hell yeah.
She also said a thing about how she thought he was really sweet when he was knocked out. And it's such a woman thing to like love men when they're unconscious. But then once they're married to them, they fucking hate when men are unconscious. You know, like once you're with him, you're like, oh, you're sleeping now. But in the beginning, you're like, oh, that's so sweet.
I don't know. I see a sleeping man. I'm just like, go fuck yourself.
I get pissed too. You're gonna
show off that you're so good at sleeping.
Must be so nice and relaxing to not worry about. I don't know. Anything.
Must be so cool that you just conked out in like 2 seconds.
Yes. Okay, so then she goes over to his house, and this is the lamb night.
Yes, this is when she says, I wish I ate meat. But, you know, I've already discussed my issues with that. I loved, then she takes him to this, like, vegan restaurant.
God forbid.
And I loved her crying in the restaurant saying, my boyfriend thinks I'm fat. I loved everything about her behavior. Because now she's turning up the crazy, and I loved every second of that.
I love seeing a man do what his version of the most is, and her doing her opposite version of what the most is. Because she's also putting like pink things in his place, stuffed animals in his place, like have the love fern. I don't know if that's a little bit later.
That happens, I think, soon.
I think it's all the same night. It's the same evening.
Yeah.
The whole thing is men hate vegetarians. I just think, so her article is talking about normal things women do to drive away men. I don't think women normally come up with a fake thing in a restaurant telling everyone, my boyfriend thinks I'm fat. Like that's...
I think the being like clingy and needy thing, but this is the other thing about this movie. It's like, oh, being clingy and needy is bad, but it's just like, I don't know. I understand you should put your best foot forward when you're first meeting somebody and starting to date them, but also I kind of feel like you should just put your cards on the table.
Full balls to the wall, you.
If they don't like you,
done.
Then great, get it over with quickly.
Yes.
If they don't like that you're going to be a little bit needy sometimes, then that's going to be a really rough time.
Yes. So then she does a fun little thing. This is where she pulls out his dick. She has a line that I love. She goes, little big, I don't know. We'll find out. Which is
all of this is very good.
I loved that. That was so wild.
Everything about this, Princess Sophia, great name. And then he's like, come on. He keeps calling it my member, which also gives like romance novel. Weird. They love using member.
Yeah.
Spike, Butch, Kroll, the Warrior King are the names he suggests, which are terrible names. And I wrote, please die in my notes to him.
Yes. Yeah, he was like, you got to name it a big boy. It has to be a big boy name.
Butch. I'm like.
Butch is so weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all of that's very funny. Then he's talking to his coworkers and he calls her, he's like, I loved the cool Andie, not the evil Andie.
And what's funny is he's right.
I mean, sure, but like
she's being bad.
She's being bad, but evil is extreme. Come on.
I agree. Yeah. And then he says she's maybe bipolar.
Oh, love that. I missed that line.
I did not miss it.
Love that.
Yeah, all his coworkers took a break from looking at the thesaurus. That's what they're doing for work. They're looking through the thesaurus for like, what's shiny? What's another word for shiny?
And then she comes in and she brings him a dog.
So,
which is insane. Why are we bringing a poor innocent animal into this nightmare?
So... Says another relatable moment.
Yeah, no, you have done this. So you're right.
I was 17 or 18. Yes. I did buy a person I was dating a bunny when they did not ask for one, which you're not supposed to do. And it also didn't go well. So
you were dating, how long had you been together when you did that?
More than 4 days.
Yeah.
Like, almost 2 semesters. What is that?
A year?
Yeah, almost a year.
Sure.
Yeah.
Did this person ever express wanting a pet?
They loved little animals.
Okay.
And they were very depressed. And I thought, I'm going to fix this by giving them a responsibility.
Yeah, I feel like of all of the little animals, I feel like a hamster would be a better option.
Why?
Because they're lower maintenance than a bunny.
The thing is, my roommate had just gotten a little dwarf bunny that never was going to grow bigger than this.
Cute.
And I was like, this is great. I'm going to get him one of those too. And it wasn't one of those. It turns out it was a lie because it grew massive.
How long did he have this animal for?
So short. Like
did he kill it?
Oh my God, no. No, the end of the school year, he couldn't take it to where he was. So I ended up taking it to my place for that summer. Then
You killed it?
Yeah, I killed it. I killed it with my bare hands. I ate it with butter. It tastes like cockroaches. No, I gave it to my friend who has bunnies already. So
okay.
Joined the bunny pack.
But the bunny lived a happy life?
Yeah.
You didn't check up on this rabbit?
I ended up, funny enough, seeing it like many years later when I was dropping some girls off at school that I was paid to do or back home. And it turns out she lived in my friend's old house and had their bunnies. And the bunny, Marla, still there.
All right.
Yep.
To this day, oldest bunny in the world.
Yep. Huge. It probably just kept growing too. So
they
it's like
do.
the size of the house
Bunnies
now.
do just keep growing.
Yeah.
That is a fact.
So anyway, I've made almost all of the mistakes.
Yeah.
And I'm single. Huh.
Weird. Weird.
I'm not going to learn anything from this. Okay.
Yeah, I disagree with bringing an animal. Okay, but what I will say with your thing,
Yes.
not that I agree with it,
Yes.
but you were in a legitimate relationship.
Yes.
She is planning on driving this man away.
Yes.
She knows that that is her plan, and she is still bringing an
It's
animal
kinda
into
cruel.
the equation.
I agree.
That's
I
not
agree.
nice.
Yeah, it's not
To
nice.
do to this dog. Also, then he brings the dog home and gives it beer.
That's all he knows. All he knows is beer. I'm Ben, and all I know is beer.
Yeah, just beer and sports.
Yep.
And then she's now talking to his mom.
They do end up naming the dog the same name as Ben's dick.
Yes, Kroll the Warrior King.
Strange.
Strange.
Uh-huh.
And
Ugh.
then we get to boys' night.
No, wait. She hits it up a notch here. She comes over and brings our family album.
Yes.
And she had called his mom asking for pictures of him as a kid and made a family album of she said she on Photoshop made composites of what their kids would look like, and she's just showing all of the kids, and he doesn't want to see. She's like, you don't want to see our children?
Yes.
And I wrote, she's having so much fun. I'm so jealous. What a long prank. What an artsy girl. So much craftsmanship. I just
Yes.
I love her work.
It's a very fun project.
Yes. But yes, this is about to be the Vagisil scene.
So he sees her Vagisil, which she left out, which is also very 2003. You don't need Vagisil.
I don't know what it does.
It's for like vaginal odor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then we get to boys' night, and I just want to say, I feel like boys' nights and movies they're always playing poker, and they're always smoking cigars.
Pre-boys night.
Yes.
He needs a night off because of this Vagisil thing.
Yeah.
He was pissed off. Like he needed a break. And then she was like, oh, but I got tickets tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah.
And he assumes it's basketball, but she tricks him again and does what no man wants and takes him front row to Celine Dion.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
And then he gets to have a boys' night.
Then he gets to have a boys' night because she's like, how can I ruin it's more? He's not breaking up with me. And the girlfriends are like, well, why don't you get involved in his boys' night?
Yeah. Which is playing poker and smoking cigars. That's what it always is in movies. And I don't understand that. And I don't think I guess maybe I've dated a man who is into that. But I'm like, are men really playing poker and smoking cigars? Is this really what we're doing?
I know. I've had lots of friends who've tried to make poker nights happen.
Yeah.
I obviously haven't been invited to like boys' poker nights. So I don't know if they happen, but I haven't dated anyone who's like that.
I feel like I've dated maybe one person where I wouldn't be shocked if he did this sort of thing.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. The smoking the cigars and playing poker, I don't know. It seems fine. Like I'd get in on it, but I don't understand why. I feel like it's the stereotype of the boys' nights.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I feel like most guys that I've dated would be like, our boys' night is doing shrooms and watching a movie.
I've had some video game boys or D&D
Yeah.
boys, you know, they're not like cigar and
cigar and poker is just like a weird vibe.
It's such a weird thing. But I do love what a menace she is. She's gotten a copy of his key from the super. She's broken into the house.
This is great. Everything about this is incredible. She comes in and ruins it. You killed our love firm. Great cinematic moment. She's throwing things everywhere. I love this.
Yes. She like takes some of the food out of people's mouths and gives them healthy food to eat.
Yeah.
She makes him like stamp out his cigar. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. I don't know how she kept a straight face as her character. Like, it's just amazing.
It's so fun.
I truly am obsessed with what a menace she is. And if I were him, I would be worried about her killing me.
Yes.
But he is a guy, so I guess he's not.
Well, he's also trying to win a bet.
Yeah, but is it worth dying for? Like, this feels like this is a woman who would murder me.
Yeah, probably because he is a man. He's like, oh, I could overpower her.
Yeah, that's what I think too. And it's so unfair. But one of the friends goes,
she could poison you
easily. And one of the friends goes, is she on something? And then she sees like one of them doing this. And she goes, you're saying I'm kind of a mental person or whatever. She flips out. He's calling it creepy because it is, but it's great.
And he decides to leave, but then they're like, you can't ruin this bet, bro. We need to have the diamond account. So he suggests couples therapy.
He says, every time my wife wants a divorce, I suggest couples therapy. Buys us a few days.
Then we get the couples therapy scene with Michelle posing as the therapist.
Also, I just want to point out that up to this point, for some reason, her idea of being the not cool girl, Kate Hudson's always wearing dresses now.
Yes.
She's wearing dresses and they're floral.
Yes.
You know, and
because
it's like, she's not cool.
Girls,
they don't wear dresses.
They eat meat.
Eat
they
pants.
Wear pants.
They eat meats and they eat pants.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they like basketball.
They're 7 days in. They're couples therapists. Mm-hmm. It's so funny. They haven't had sex yet.
Yes.
And they're in couples therapy. He has his dick named after a man, and Michelle says, when did you realize you were attracted to other men? Which is very, very funny because he wants a man dick, I guess is the idea.
Then they go to meet his family.
Yes.
And the first thing that I have written down on here about that is, did he just kiss his sister on the lips?
Thank you. I wrote that. Did he and his sister kiss? Weird.
Yeah, that was a kiss on the lips with his sister.
I don't get it. I almost wanted to rewind when we saw it because I was like, that's crazy.
I know. I was like, did I?
Yes. I don't know why we didn't get a cut to Kate Hudson going, ugh. Like, I don't get why they let it in.
I don't like the whole parent-child kissing on the lips thing either.
Oh, there's no kissing on the lips in family.
No, it's very weird. But siblings feels even weirder.
Yes. I mean,
like, I think the parent thing is weird, but I feel like siblings is like another level of like, it's not even like, oh, listen, I think it's fucking weird no matter what.
I can't even say which one's weird. I'm going to be honest. Because like, I think mom-son kissing on the lips is so disgusting.
The other thing I wrote down was we're to believe that Matthew McConaughey is from Staten Island with that accent. That's all.
So this part where she meets the whole family feels so much like watching Love is Blind, where the contestants meet other families, like knowing full well they might be about to ruin their lives.
Yeah.
And it's just like so awful to watch like a family fall in love with a person, you
that's
know?
Actually, it is exactly like Love is Blind. And that's always the worst part.
It's so sad. You're like ruining these people's lives.
I feel like though, like if my sister went on Love is Blind and I met the man that she was paired with, I would just be like, oh, well, this is stupid. And she's going to say no to you at the altar.
Yeah.
But I guess some parents are like,
parents, you know, they're like, this is the first person that he's ever brought around.
Yeah.
He's never brought a woman over. Like, this is huge.
And this is real life to them. It's not like, oh,
the
you're on a dating
here.
Reality show.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. She's the first girl that he's brought home, and his mom says, don't you break his heart now. Kind of crazy. I have in all caps, introduced her to family without ever having had sex.
Yeah.
Wild.
8 days.
Wild.
And I guess, again, he's trying to make her fall in love with him. And maybe he's like, the best part of me is my family because I suck.
But then they do finally have sex. And I word in all caps, shower sex sucks. Sorry.
Yeah. Shower sex sucks.
Yep.
Especially for the first time. Like, you don't know the vibe.
Nope.
Also, then now they're like actually falling in love.
They're really into each other.
Because she can play the game bullshit. And she's like being cool again because she can't be crazy around his family probably. But like,
and she's
this is
being herself.
fucking stupid. Yeah, she's being herself.
Her hair is wet. It's her natural waves and curls now.
Yeah. Also, she's wearing these weird rolled down jeans.
They're unfolded jeans. Uh-huh.
I don't know,
And then
2003.
he like calls her his girlfriend. She goes, "Are you calling me your girlfriend?" I'm like, "You called him your boyfriend 4 days ago."
Yeah. And then she goes back to work and says that she can't write this article because she likes him.
Yes.
First of all, what I wrote here, just lie. Just lie, girly.
Lie in your article. Why can't we lie in the article?
You can just lie. You don't have to keep up this ruse. Like, just pretend. Okay? So that's annoying.
I'm just like, what is she going to have to do to get this guy to end? I wrote like she's literally going to have to burn his house to the ground to get him to end it with her.
Well, this guy specifically because
Yes.
he has a motive
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
And then
This is the big event.
the
right?
big event happens.
And the big event is like, it happens that both of their companies are at this big event, which is a diamonds thing because this is the product he's trying to end up working, you know?
And they're advertising it in her magazine.
Exactly. And so this is the day where his big boss is going to try to decide whether or not
'Cause
Annie's in love with him.
He is obviously the person to
Who can assess
judge.
that as a man who said he just doesn't understand women.
Right. But he can tell whether or not she's in love.
For sure.
Yeah. And then the whole thing blows up. They both find out.
Yeah, both each one's two coworkers are like the women, the double Judys are like conniving, you know, and then the double guys are basically they both find out at the exact same time that each other is a bet or a project or something.
But then I feel like so then they get mad at each other, and I'm like, you were both playing each other. Like I don't think that you get to be mad.
Yes.
And this was the point in the movie, and over time, I have reduced my guess for how long they'll be together to 4 months. But at this point, I was like, maybe they're going to be together forever.
That's
because
what I
I
think.
kind of hate them both.
Yeah.
And I think maybe they deserve each other.
Yeah, they really do. She's some awful bullshit woman. He's a terrible, terrible man, you know?
Yeah.
Both, I don't know why she thinks she has more of a right to be more upset with him than he is at her.
You both used each other to get ahead in your careers.
Yes.
Like it's literally the same thing. You don't get to be mad at each other.
I literally don't know how they are so angry at each other, but they are perfect for each other.
Yes. So
They end up like singing a song.
They sing You're So Vain. I do love that scene. Also, okay, I was like, why is she doing this? Is she drunk? And then somebody says that she is, but I feel like we didn't see her getting
We've
really
seen her
drunk.
have 3 drinks.
Okay, cool girl can't handle 3 glasses of champagne.
I agree, but she's doing them fast. She's very thin.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
I'm just saying,
I think
if
she's
she's
mostly
really
angry.
a cool girl, I just say
can
if
handle her
you're
champagne.
really a cool girl,
Yeah.
you should be able to
Prove
handle
it.
that. All right. If you want to roll with the boys, you're going to need to not get fucking sloppy on 3 glasses of champagne.
I agree. She got too sloppy.
But
he
you know,
was
she's
just as
living her
bad.
truth. Well, yeah, him too. I'm like, why are we all like, no one was taking shots.
Angry. I think they're both just drunk with fury. Like, I really think they're both just so pissed off that they got tricked when they thought they were the one doing tricking, even though they both said all is fair in love and war.
Right. Even though they are both tricking each other.
Yep.
So nobody has any right to be mad.
So they say angry words to each other. She's like, you can't lose something you never had.
Blah, blah, blah. She goes back to work. She's written the article.
And now her boss is like, you can write about anything. And she's like, anything? And the boss is like, yeah, but not like politics or whatever.
Not literally any of the things that you wanted to write about.
Nope.
So then she's like, then she goes back to her friend's house. She's all sad. She's lost this guy. They do the classic. This is the other classic movie thing. I feel like girls who are sad with each other, you sit in your apartment and you order Chinese. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
And that's what they did because they're sad girls.
Yeah, they are.
And then Michelle's ex shows up for some fucking reason to win her back.
Yeah. Well, like, I thought this was a nice point in the film. They're kind of saying, like, you can be whoever you want.
Yeah.
Eddie's still going to like her. But I don't like what he said about it. He just said he misses her perfume smell.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a bummer. You know, that's what he wants. I don't know.
They'll come back because they're horny.
I mean, it kind of debunked the whole movie, which was fun. You know, like all the stuff Kate Hudson was like doing and talking about worked when
it actually worked for both of them.
Yep. It really did.
And then, okay, so this cat is here, cute cat, cuddling with Kate Hudson. And then Michelle gets up to open the door, and the cat jumps up as a cat might if you get off the couch. And then she stands there and has a conversation with this man with the door wide open. I was like, girlie, your cat's going to run away. You step outside and you close that door.
Yep.
I don't know. I just felt like as a cat owner, I was like, you're not having that conversation with the door open while a cat's running around.
Yeah.
Or the cat should have stayed on the couch with Andie, and then I would have been like, oh, it's just having a good time. Anyway, it was a stupid thing that I picked up on. This was the most poorly
thought out stuff in the movie.
Yeah, everything else made total sense, and I was fine with other than the lobsters and the animal treatment.
Yes.
A lot of animal issues for me in this movie, actually.
Yeah, it's funny that he still has the dog.
Yeah. Well, thank God. But also,
we don't want this man taking care of the dog. He feeds it beer. What?
Yeah, no, we don't want anyone taking care of any animals. No good pet owners in this movie.
Okay, so here he is at the end shooting a commercial with the diamonds. Frost yourself, yuck. One of his coworkers is like, you gonna read her magazine article about you? Anyway, it says she was in love with him. He's the only guy that she's ever fallen for, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I gotta get her back. I wonder how many movies we're going to see this, but I love gotta get him before the airport.
Yes, you gotta get him before the airport.
I bet half of our films are going to have a gotta get him before the airport.
Yes, there's always a they're about to leave and we have to get them back.
Yes.
So we're in that moment.
Yes.
And
she's moving to DC.
Yeah, she's got an interview in Washington, presumably doing something cool
that she's always wanted to do.
Give that up for this fucking man who has lied to her for 10 days and who she lied to for 10 days.
Yes.
And I think that she's going to resent him for this. If she goes back to her shitty women's magazine, no. This is where I started being like, really maybe they're not going to stay together.
Yes.
Because she, like, I'm sure that she wants to be in New York and she can write for a, like, different type of magazine or newspaper or whatever. So maybe that's what she does want. She doesn't really want to move to Washington.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I think we're supposed to think that he says you can write from anywhere. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to think that maybe she's still... I don't like it. I don't like it that she has to sacrifice her life because he realizes that whatever, he loves her.
He loves her, apparently.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, stop the cab, turn it around. And the cab waits.
I get upset because the guy driving the cab goes, can't pull over on a bridge. And it's true. I got in trouble for pulling over on a bridge and everyone was angry at me. My tire was completely flat and I didn't know what to do. And they're like, can't pull. Everyone was getting so angry at me. And they're like, okay, we'll let this taxi pull over in New York.
Yeah, because she has to puke, which I understand the taxi maybe didn't want that. But I'm also shocked that the taxi wasn't like, okay, bye. I'm going to wait for you and flip around. I guess he like pays him off or whatever, but I don't know. And then they're finally, whatever, they have their moment. We still love each other. They kiss and zoom out shot. And the cabbie's just like, nice.
He loves love.
He's just watching.
Hates puke, loves love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate the job part. She's going to get pretty annoyed if she can't do the work she wants to do. Mm-hmm. I don't trust him at all, obviously. He's never been in a relationship and never seemed to want one, which seems like a bad sign. But also, she's single. We don't hear about any of her breakups, and it seems like she's never liked anyone either. So I could see a world where they're both like, we've never liked anyone. We really like each other. Maybe they think they're some power couple. You know what I mean? Like, I could see riding on that for a little bit.
I think that they might ride on it for a little bit. I don't think that they're going to handle actual conflict well. And I think that their relationship is based on a lie. Mm-hmm. So because of that, I still think it's less than a year. And I still kind of feel like it's just a couple months. I do think that they're both awful. So maybe they'll really 6 months is interesting. Maybe 6 to 8. Because they're going to be fucking and she's
that's
conniving.
Fun. She's good, she think mostly can take care of herself, you know?
Yeah, but he sucks, and she's gonna realize that he sucks.
He does suck.
And he was playing a more romantic version of himself, and he's not that.
Yeah, but I like to, yeah. Yeah, who do you think will break up with who?
It feels like a breakup that happens during a really big fight.
Yes.
She is the one who finally is like, this is done, we're over. And then he also is like, yeah, we are fucking over. Like, she says it first and he's like, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it actually will be somewhat mutual, and I think it'll be during a big fight.
Yeah. I'm in the 6 to 8 months camp. I'm on board with 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that the sex will make them last at least a little bit. You can
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think that they'll both like have fun playing house, being in a relationship. I think it's like fun in the beginning.
They'll watch so many sports and eat so many burgers.
Yeah, mixed with
and
meats.
Slurp on those crab.
They love the
which
cockroaches.
is not meat, according to them.
Cockroaches. The things that we've talked about, but like they're questions I had after. How many times we see a man impede or alter a woman's job?
Yes. Don't fuck up your job for another person.
The last, okay. And then how many times we see a woman make an excuse to make the man a part of her work?
Yeah.
Because this is kind of like that. The journalism one and the stunt person one. We're both like, he's a part of... And then how many lady journalists? I think this is a pattern we're going to see a lot.
I agree.
Yeah. Because it's only been 3 films and...
This is a trope.
Yeah.
The lady journalist is a big one.
Yeah.
In books as well.
It's usually lady journalist, man architect. I feel like man architect is such a thing.
Yeah. It's usually something that's like sciencey but creative.
Yeah. He's not a nerd.
Yeah. He's not a total nerd. He's like a
thoughtful.
hot, smart man.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah. I'm on board with 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
I think it's a mutual blow up.
Yes.
I don't know. There are some women who are just very chill.
And she does seem chill, but nobody is that chill. And I don't think he's that chill,
He's
actually.
not chill.
So
He's not chill.
I think that honestly, like, I don't think she's going to be the one who's doing all these things. I think he's got a lot of fucking baggage, and he's never been in a relationship before.
That's
like,
crazy.
I don't know. I think he's going to have some shit he has to work through.
Yep.
That she's probably not going to want to put up with. And I also will say, every cool girl, like, you can be, like, I feel like chill women become not chill because men
They put up with so much.
are just trash to them.
Yes.
Like, they're just being like incompetent.
Eventually they end up faking their own murder every
Yes.
time. Every time. You see a chill girl, you should be like, ooh.
Yes. That was, I did not write it down, but afterwards I was like, Andie is
Gone Girl.
the cool girl monologue from Gone Girl.
Yes, 100%.
So, gotta watch out for those cool girls.
Yeah.
Because they are gonna quit putting up with your shit, and then it's gonna come as a surprise. They're like, "What? But I thought she was so cool." It's like, you've been worthless for months.
I'm so curious how many more cool girls we're gonna get, you know?
Definitely a lot, especially 2000s.
Yeah.
This is like prime cool girl era.
The thing is, her friends are also like really under the impression that she really is just like this chill woman, you
Right.
know? We don't know anything about her family.
No, she doesn't seem to have a family.
Yeah, which is the dream person, really,
Yeah.
in my opinion. You don't want someone with a family, then you have to see the family.
No, not when he has the perfect family and they all make out.
Yep.
And you can get in on that.
I cannot. That was so weird. It was so weird that I want to like look it up and watch it again to see if it was real.
All right. I actually did have that thought as well. I was like, did that really fucking happen?
I really wanted to rewind it, but I'm like, okay, we'll just keep watching.
Just see.
All right. Did we do the thing that we're supposed to do?
I think that we did a great job.
Yeah.
I think our final verdict is 6 to 8 months.
6 to 8 months, blow up.
Big blow up.
Big blow up.
Mutual-ish.
Yeah. I think it's pretty mutual.
Yeah.
Either like he gets just like too erratic and difficult over and over again, or she has feelings God
and that's
forbid.
going to be a problem for him.
Yes.
Yeah. or they can never trust each other because of how their relationship started as a lie.
Yeah. But I don't know. That works for some people.
Sure.
You never know. It worked for me for a second until it didn't.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So it worked.
Yeah, 6 to 8 months. You're right. 6 to 8 months, and then one of them will break up with the other, saying they're too unstable and depressed, you know?
Did that start off as a lie? Oh, kind of.
Some people think so.
Oh, those people are wrong.
Yeah, I agree. Anyway, I am pro using dating for content. I think she did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And he did equally as wrong.
Oh, he's worse than her. And honestly, fuck men named Ben.
Okay, also, I do think his intention is worse. Not because he sucks, but he says, I'm going to make her fall in love.
That's
she just
mean.
says, I'm going to get rid of him.
Right.
You don't have to be in love first. You just have to like her.
I'm just going to be a little crazy and have you be like, okay, I'm sick of you.
Yes.
That's fine. Like, okay, you put up with some weirdness. Not, I'm going to make you fall in love. That's mean.
That is cruel. Even though she says, I'm going to break your heart, and she knows, what she's going to do. But yeah, he's worse for sure. I hate Ben.
He's worse.
And maybe all Bens.
Maybe. If you're a good Ben, let us know.
Yeah.
But we're going to need a lot of proof.
Like a lot of proof.
Yeah.
Like maybe screenshots of all the times you said sorry to someone.
You're going to need a woman to testify. 3 women to testify on your behalf.
And none of them can be family.
No, especially not family that you make out with, you sicko.
Yeah, you sick.
All right, that is it.
Yep.
Yeah.
What a day. What a 10 days. 10 days.
10
how
days.
To lose him. How to lose a guy.
How to lose a guy in 10 days. This has been When Harry Dumped Sally.
When Harry Dumped Sally. Listen,
We'll
more,
see
subscribe,
ya.
whatever. Watch us on the things.
Do all the things, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, feel free to tell us films to watch.
Yeah, let us know if you have a favorite romantic movie where the couple ends up together in the end.
Yes,
and
that's the rule. They have to end up together in the end. I'm learning.
That we can talk about. Well, yeah, because otherwise, what are we going to talk about? They're not going to end up together.
And also, let us know if you agree or don't agree with us, by the way.
Yes, let us know. We love to have fights, and our shrimp cockroaches. Think about it.
Thank you.